everybody.
Sean and Kelly here, Price and Price Group of Samson Properties. We are back after Thanksgiving, and what are we talking about today?
I'm so excited.
Okay, go.
Okay, so right now we're going to talk about the listing that just sold, the third one this week that we just sold 2 days ago in
Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah, I always say Alexandria.
Yeah. And this is a really, really interesting story. So we're going to go step by step. There's a lot of different caveats and nuances.
I get to talk a lot. Like, I get to be super long-winded.
Okay, so here we go. Let's get to it.
Okay, so I know we always see these posts, like, we've done it and a lot of realtors do it, and it's like, just sold in 3 days. And it's like, we're going to give you a behind the scenes about what it actually looks like. Because if we were going to make a quick post like that about bragging about it, we would say, sold in only however many showings and, you know, full price, boom, and that's it. And you're like, why do you even make that kind of money, right?
Right. So, now, we're going to give you all the details, and this one, this has several different storylines. So the first storyline is about 3 years ago, I was out doing a video tour for some clients. They were on the lower end of the budget for single family houses. And I went out to this property.
I forgot that's how you met. Okay, 3 years ago, yes.
So I went out to this property. I walked into the house and I made it through to the kitchen.
Because it was a for sale by owner, right?
No, it was listed for sale.
Okay.
But this was before this gentleman that we represented had bought it.
Oh,
yes. Okay. So I went to this house. I walked in. You walk in the living room. You go around a corner, and then you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's as far as I made it. I didn't make it upstairs. I didn't make it anywhere else because this house was scary. It was packed full of stuff. I was hearing noises. I was thinking there were people.
Happens, guys. That happens.
Sometimes it's very uncomfortable. Like, she doesn't go to vacant our houses alone for this reason. So I left the house, and the condition was horrible. Like, I was afraid it was going to be wonky and all kinds of weird stuff. I walked around to the back. It had a huge lot, and that's one of the unique things about this property. But it was full of Texas Chainsaw Massacre sheds. I swear there were people back there that were being held. This thing was horrible. So,
oh my God.
Fast forward to earlier this year, and I went to meet with a for sale by owner, and I'm pulling up, and I didn't recognize the address, but when I pulled up off the street, I'm like, I think this is the house that I was at.
So this is about
2.5 years later.
2.5 years after the creepy walkthrough.
Yeah, so it just had the feel when I pulled up to it. And it was very, very well done. He cleaned this place out. It was completely remodeled. He painted the exterior, so he just did a fantastic job on this house. So the story began actually 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the story.
All about that.
So the beginning, the way I just want to start this with the actual situation of this time around is I met the seller. He was for sale by owner. He walked me through the house and showed me everything that he had done. It was currently being rented by a colonel that was working at the Naval Reserve, or the Army Reserve, National Guard Reserve Readiness Center. And so it was being rented.
It's right there.
Yeah, it was right there. So he was showing it to me. It was being rented at the time. So it was in good condition, but it was still filled up with tenants, items and stuff. And but I was really
no more Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No more
memorabilia in the backyard.
Not at all. And he was actually on the market with the property as a for sale by owner for 90 days. It was in a multiple listing service, but he was on sale before that. He was on Zillow for another couple months. So
so then he did, to get it on MLS, then he did like a flat fee for service, just where you pay an agent just to get the listing on there. They don't do anything else. It was still a for sale by owner.
That's right. So I met him about 5 months before we actually started talking about listing the property. And again, the property was in great condition.
And he's amazing. The sellers are amazing. He and his wife
fantastic.
Are incredible.
But this just goes to show, the first thing to point out is, yes, as a for sale by owner, quite often you can sell the property yourself, but it doesn't always work out. And he was on the market for 6 months, and he was marketing. He actually owns a direct mail company, so he was doing all the marketing and everything. And
he's good at marketing.
He's really good. He just wasn't getting any traction. So eventually he hired us to come in, and we were able to start working with him.
Yes.
So that was it. So for sale by owner for about 3 months officially, and then I think 3 months prior to that.
And that was a lot of following up, and like you really spent that time building the relationship with
them. And I took a couple of our investors out there to look at the property because it's had an apartment in the basement. And,
it's a really, really cool place.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we listed it.
Yes.
And what you're gonna hear is a whole lot of, we meet our clients where they're at, whether you're buyers or sellers, we meet you where you're at. We're gonna tell you the best case scenario and how to get, say you're a seller, best case scenario, how to get what you want quickly, exactly what you want, and then we're gonna work with you on what you're willing to do at the time. So we had it listed, we listed it, and then we had some issues.
Yes.
Because we only had it listed for 2 weeks before we took it temporarily off market.
Yes.
That issue is another issue we ran into with another listing.
Yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah, it always happens like that, right?
Yep.
That issue
clusters.
is tenants
Yes.
in the property. So go through that a little bit.
So this is the next thing is to demonstrate here is how important the presentation of the property is. So we were on the market for
presentation also includes availability of the property.
Yeah, availability. Yeah, absolutely. So we were active for 6 days when we went on the market.
Yeah.
We had 4 open houses. I've got the statistics here. So I made 200 phone calls prospecting for the property, generated some people coming in from that. We had 4 open houses. We had 19 groups through. A lot of them were from the prospecting.
Yeah.
We had 3 scheduled showings. 1 showing came. 1 showing canceled, buyer schedule changed, and the 3rd showing, the straw that broke the camel's back, showed up for their showing at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the sellers would not let, or the tenants would not let them in.
What do we mean by a showing? This means another agent was showing their clients the property.
Yeah. So the agent had requested the showing. We had gotten it confirmed with the tenants that they knew they were coming. When the agent and her client showed up at 9 a.m., the tenants were in the house. She said she could see them moving around, but they would not answer the door.
Right. This is not cool.
That's not good. So we went and had this conversation with the seller, and he was very realistic, and he said, you know what, let's take this off the market until we can get it to be vacant.
Yeah, and that was the thing. You know, we had to discuss this with him. At the timing, it's like it's better. We were coming up to late fall, early winter. It's like, okay, we really need to try to show this even with tenants, but as long as everybody's on board and participates and plays nice, it's going to be fine. When that wasn't happening, that was when it was like the decision was made, we've got to take it off the market. And we did that until...
Well, and then just a real quick, a little caveat is when people would actually come through, like for the open house, which I was really kind of grateful that we had so few showings, because I could be there to explain to them that there were tenants there. I could actually clean the house up and straighten it up before people came through. And
explain, there was a whole lot of uniqueness about the layout of the property.
There was a part, now this is so indicative of how important staging is. There was a part of the house where you walked in and you had the dining room, then you had the original kitchen of the house, and then they had a bump out where they had put the new kitchen, and they had maintained the cabinetry and stuff in the original kitchen.
Yeah.
Everybody that came to the open house was like, what do you do with this? And I would explain to them, it's a great butler's pantry. It's great for serving during the holidays.
Yeah, or have a drink. It can be your beverage kitchen or your meal prep kitchen. Like you can say it, but they couldn't see it because the dining room was not staged. There was no dining room table. The kitchen was, nothing was staged. And the tenants that lived there had very basic furnishings. Yeah. So it was not presenting well. We'll just say that. Let's even not go into in great detail, but also the rules that I've done videos on about staging for the holidays.
Yeah, removing clutter
and things like that. So there were a lot of things that went into having the tenant there.
That was actually one of the reasons we shot that video. Okay, so we go off the market. We're off the market for almost a full month. So we're at the entire month.
We're letting the lease end.
October, we're off the market. We come back on the market and the tenants move out. The staging company gets right in the day they move out.
So we hired stagers.
Yes.
To we did that. We told the seller agreed. We're like, let us pay for staging for you.
Yes.
Because we know what it needs.
We know what it needs.
Let's just do it.
So we did the staging. We went back on the market. We were on the market the second time around for a total of 10 days. But we were actually only doing showings for about 7 or 8 days of that.
That's right.
Because 2 of the days were negotiating contracts and the other 2 days were just generating the interest to be able to start showing the property. We had 4 open houses, just like we had previously. This time we had 33 groups through versus the 19. We had 9
and
showings.
new photography done, right? So that's what gets the more groups
The
in, right? Just because we had
important.
it staged, it's like, well, how do they know?
Yeah.
We had more photography done,
Yes.
which was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You did more prospecting phone calls.
Yep, we did that.
And then the feedback though, when they walked in, was like starkly.
Yeah, everybody was like,
different.
this house is fantastic.
Yeah.
There was no negative feedback. That awkward butler's pantry became the feature of the house. People were like, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
I think, because I would sit at the dining room table and explain
Yeah.
that to them, and everybody thought this was a fantastic idea.
Yes.
So it was just completely different.
Mm-hmm.
The feedback was completely different. We ended up with 9 showings, so we had almost 9 times the showings.
Yeah.
We ended up with 3 offers.
Yeah.
And
Within such a short amount of time.
yeah. So we have gone through how important staging is.
Yes.
We've seen the difference. This is a case study of staging. It
Yes.
shows you exactly the difference of how this plays out. Once we got the contracts, we got a really strong offer, and the seller was, they gave us a strong, we knew we had other offers coming,
Yes.
but this offer came in with a deadline. It was an all cash offer.
No contingencies at all. Now, if you've been doing the business long enough, you know that there are certain things that even an all cash offer with no contingencies that you really have to get in there, which is what we negotiated before they even sent it. We said, we need what?
Proof of funds. We need to see like full-on bank statements,
and
everything.
A big EMD.
And a huge EMD, yeah. So we did.
It's like if they've got the cash to pay for it, they can afford a huge EMD, right?
Yep.
And we need the proof of funds.
That's right. So we got the proof of funds, showed more than enough cash. We got the earnest money deposit, $50,000 earnest money deposit.
Yeah.
We have a ratified contract, no contingencies. We're closing in 2 weeks.
The proof of funds were like so completely, blatantly legit that it was so funny when we got this call.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this buyer actually came through the open house, one of the open houses. So I had met him. I don't know who he was. I haven't met him since then, but he came in through the open house. So he called his agent and had his agent write the offer. The agent sent the offer to us that evening with a 2-hour deadline. But the offer was so strong, the sellers just took it. So the next day, we get up and we get the other 2 offers that come in, and one of those was also very strong. So we start negotiating that as a backup offer.
Yes.
We
always have a backup.
Always have a backup offer. And buyers always write a backup offer because, so the next day we get a call from the agent. He's like, hey, everything's going great. I'd like to go by and see the property since I haven't seen it yet. I was out of town. Do you mind if I go by? No, let him go by. Well, when he goes by, he takes the buyer's wife with him.
Yes.
Apparently, the buyer's wife had sat in the car while the buyer came in for the open house. When she went back to the property with the agent, she didn't like the size of one of the bedrooms. She did not want that house. She was done.
They were like...
I get a call from the buyer's agent. They're going to void. Are your sellers going to just accept the $50,000 earnest money deposit, or are they going to sue for damages? If they're going to sue for damages, he'll buy the house and just sell it. And the seller said, he knew we already had a backup offer.
Right, that was good.
It was good. So the seller's like, yeah, I'll let him out of the contract.
I'll take the $50K.
So he got a $50,000 bonus, earnest money deposit. The buyer was happy because he didn't have to hassle with selling the property. So he was like, take it, I'm happy, and he's out.
Wife's happy, right?
Wife's happy.
I just paid $50,000 for her to not be mad that I
will hopefully I never had that experience because I would never live it down.
If you had $50,000, maybe.
Well, that's true. That's true. Maybe if I was I need more money. So the seller gets a $50,000 earnest money deposit. The minute that contract is voided, he's got another contract right in place.
Yeah.
And that contract went to settlement 21 days.
Yeah.
No issues. And so the seller is happy.
Yes. So all of the lessons, right, are, you want to try to sell your house on your own, you feel like you can. Maybe you can. If it doesn't work with a realtor, work with someone who can figure out what's missing in what you're doing and fill in those gaps, right?
That's right.
Next.
So
staging.
Obviously importance of
Tenants.
staging and making sure the tenants are compliant and another point is for the buyer's perspective. Okay, there were 2 really good lessons here. Number 1, the first offer that came in was extremely strong with no contingencies and influenced the seller, even though he knew he had other offers coming, to take that offer. So that's one strategy when you're writing offers. The other thing that's important, the backup offer actually had contingencies.
Right.
They had their protections in the contract. They did not get a discount, but they had the protections in the contract. So in the way that the state of the market right now, you can be really aggressive and eat up a property, or you can usually, right now, a lot of contingencies are getting into contracts, inspection contingencies, things like that. You can actually get those in contracts right now. So buyers, if you're on the fence, before we hit that spring market, get in here and do this so you have your protections. You're not going to get a discount on the property, but you can get your protections.
You can get your protections, and that's a really good point. And the other thing to hit on with sellers is make sure you're working with an agent who doesn't just get excited about something like a cash offer or an offer with no contingencies. Make sure every single offer that comes along has weak points. And have an agent who's willing and able to point out those weak points and tell you how they can be negotiated and mitigated, right? Because with the backup offer, we knew that the first offer with no contingencies, that if they didn't go to market, it was they were going to get 50K, right? Or settlement. They were going to get the 50K. Well, if they've got 50K, then they were willing to accept this backup offer that had a home inspection contingency, because what if I need to replace some outlets or something like that? I've got 50K, no big deal.
That's right.
So there are so many tiny nuances that go into every offer and every situation that you need to make sure you're working with someone who can
help see that,
parse that out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was a great transaction. It was a fun transaction. It was a long transaction over 2.5 years of history.
What amazing people. Like, I mean,
and the buyers,
I like working with FSBOs.
And the FSBOs are for sale by owner, FSBO. The buyers are fantastic. I met them at the open house. I actually did a lot of work with them prior to them bringing their agent in, so they were fantastic. Actually wrote a reverse offer.
So we wrote a reverse offer for this, and it was like,
so
you stressed with them.
Okay.
So they were writing an offer. Sean met with them. They had like falling. I actually met them too, right?
Yeah, you met them at the open house when I was.
We all loved each other, and then they're like, "We don't want." Sean asked, "Do you want to get your agent to do this?" No, we don't want to work with our agent. Somebody sold us our last house, but we don't want to work with them. Can you write the offer? And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna have to get on a call." And I think all of you're unrepresented. Do you know what unrepresented means? It means I cannot advise you on this. I think you said it so many times, and I'm so glad you did, that they realized what representation means and that they needed it. So after writing the reverse offer that they asked us to write, and the seller, all this kind of stuff, finally, I'm so happy it got through that they're like, I think we will call our agent. And they did, because it's always a better situation for everyone when we know that all parties have real and strong representation.
That's right.
In the transaction.
So 2 things on that you just brought up that are brilliant.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Number 1, what is a reverse offer? So because these buyers had never written a contract, because these buyers, I could not advise them on it. I could walk them through and tell them like what each paragraph meant. And they
we
would
have
tell
a video
me
on representation too that we can.
But what we did was, I knew what the seller would accept, because I knew what the seller was getting on the other offer, and they were in a hurry because they wanted to try to beat this other offer in, right? So I knew what the seller would accept. So we actually wrote the offer coming from the seller. The seller actually signed it.
We got with the seller and went through all the details, and he signed it on his side first.
And then we sent it to the buyer, so that the terms were clear as to what it needed to be.
And then we sent along with the unrepresented paperwork and the disclosures and all of that.
Absolutely. So all of that was covered. And then as they were reviewing the contract and everything, that's when they decided they wanted to get representation. So we were actually happy that they got the representation. So here's the next thing, and this is why it's so important for sellers to understand that having a buyer's agent on the other side is critical. We got down to 1 day before settlement, and the lender was having an issue with one little aspect of the property. That buyer's agent was negotiating with that lender, pushing that lender, working with that lender, taking pictures, doing everything she could to get that lender to the closing table. And this was no...
Shout out Jennifer Grigorski.
Yes, shout out.
You were great.
She was handling that, and if these buyers did not have an agent that was experienced and knew how to do that, and we were the only agents on the transaction, as a seller's side, I couldn't talk to their lender. So I would not have been able to guide them through that process, and this transaction may have fallen out and cost those buyers their earnest money deposit.
That's such a great point. I'm really happy you brought that up.
Yeah. There's so many
because
lessons.
we're not allowed. It's like we can want to all day and be like, you know,
we're
but
just
we wouldn't
not
be allowed to do certain things.
Yeah. So this was just full of
it was a
examples of everything.
Yeah.
It's great transactions. So thank you to the sellers for trusting us.
Yes.
Thank you to the buyers for trusting us and bringing in Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer, for a great job.
Yeah. And thank you, Jesus in the sky, for blessing
all
of us in this whole transaction.
That's exactly it. All right. And we're going to go over to the market report now. And if you guys need anything from us, please feel free to reach out to us. Please subscribe. We're trying to get our subscriber count up. So
apparently
subscribe.
That's like a big deal.
Yeah, I'm supposed to have that. So subscribe. Subscribe. You're saying. All right. Okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Hey, everybody.
Sean Kelly, your Price and Price Group, and what are we talking about?
This is our mortgage minute.
I knew you were going to say that. Nope. You even rehearsed it that way, and I was just like, oh, let her do it.
Why did you let me do that?
This is our market snapshot.
We do too many of these things with all the ends in it. This is our market snapshot, the things that have happened.
What's happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market?
All the things.
In the last 7 days and under 5 minutes. All right, here we go. Actually, this one's going to be a little bit different because we have the monthly summary as well, so it'll be a little bit over 5 minutes. So this is going to be fun.
I can't wait for this kind of fun. Okay, so you're looking at the top squiggly line, the black one. That is the buyer activity in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days. That's how many houses sold in our area.
Nope. How many houses went under contract?
That's what I said.
That's what you said.
Then the squiggly blue line underneath, that's how many homes came on the market. That's how many sellers decided it is time to put a price tag on my house and offer it to you, lovely people.
That's right. That's right. All right. And you said something. Oh, and the reason that it's important to distinguish between sold and under contract is because, as we're going to talk about a little bit more.
This is why I brought this up. So to give you
Brilliant.
Segue.
Brilliant. When you're looking at sold data, it's at least 30 days old, possibly 45 to 60 days old.
Yes.
So we want to look at what's happened in the last 7 days so we can make real-time decisions, okay? So what we saw in the last 7 days, now this is going to be a very skewed number because this was Thanksgiving week.
Well, it's not skewed. It's true.
It's true, but it's going to be
different.
It's going to be different. So buyer activity obviously dropped significantly for that part of the Thanksgiving week. Inventory also dropped as well.
Good for you guys, enjoying your family and eating the food, right?
I was actually surprised by how many properties came on the market for Thanksgiving week.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. I expected that.
I wasn't surprised because I did not pay any attention. I enjoyed our mothers and our children in Florida.
You were totally on vacation.
And I enjoyed your mom wrecking into our car with her car.
That's right. If you see a Mercedes with bright yellow tape on the fender, that's us.
I was super
getting repaired
thankful
soon.
that it was a car and not like a dog or a person. So that's cool.
All right. Okay. So as you can see from the week prior, this gap has decreased significantly. So the demand has gotten a lot closer to the supply. So what that did, when you come down here, this gray line right here is our neutral market. Anything above it is a seller's market. Anything below is a buyer's market. So you can see we moved more towards that neutral market. But the important thing to look at is not the weekly up and down. It's the trend of what's happening. And you can see that buyer activity is picking up.
They are expecting it to be picking up. Not so much the prices, right?
No,
but they're expecting the activity to be picking up.
It's going to depend on how much the inventory goes with the buyer activity. If the inventory comes up and matches the buyer activity, then the prices will come up, or the prices will stay pretty even. But if not, then the prices will go up. You can see up here that the trend has been just overall market activity has gone down. We are going to finish this year nationwide with the number of transactions that is the worst it's been in 40 years, the lowest it's been in 40 years. So
I find this exciting. I love hearing news like this because I don't know, I'm just super grateful because it's only up from here.
It's only up from here. That's exactly it. Yeah, so this year was number 40, last year was number 39. Outside of that, and both of these years were worse than 2008, 9, and 10 when we had the real estate crash. So we've technically gone through a real estate crash.
What if like next year is even worse?
Okay.
Then the question is, am I going to be even happier because I'm so joyful about this?
Mark this video and we're going to have to check it and see.
I'll probably be like, have my hair all like this way and
Yes.
falling out other ways.
That's right.
and,
That's right.
like,
Yeah.
super crappy.
We'll be filming this with like a
Like,
little
what was I saying? I'll have like a cigarette.
drinking. Okay. So what does this mean for
Not
sellers?
Stoli though. I think they went out of business.
I don't know. I don't follow that. You don't follow real estate. I don't follow alcohol.
I don't follow alcohol. I drink coffee.
Okay. So what does this mean for buyers? Right now, buyers, get in the market, get out here. I know the interest rates aren't the low as you want them and all that stuff, but there are properties that are good properties that are sitting for a week or two where you can actually get contingencies. We've got some statistics showing that over 70% of the buyers
If
are
they just
getting
want
it.
to not buy anything,
Well, they may
then
not.
let it. I mean, what do you guys want to do? Go to Ulta and like the Galleria?
Ignore her, get in the market. Sellers. It's still a seller's market. It's still a good market for you. We need to talk. Let's figure out the timing, the best timing for you, and see if you want to come on
We
now.
do have the buyers.
Yeah, if you want to come on now or if you want to come on January, February. But these are all conversations to have. But buyers, 100%, if you're thinking about buying in the next 90 days, get out there now.
I mean, that's a fact, Jack.
It's a fact.
But if you don't want to buy, don't buy. Don't be pressured into anything. The point is, if you do want to buy, do it now because the prices are just going to go up. It's like we're a broken record, right?
And the
How many times
competition.
can we say the same thing before you're like, I wish I had bought 6 months ago?
Voices.
Oh, sorry. I'm working on that. Sorry, Lorelai.
Okay.
She's going to chastise me later.
All right, so that's it for the market snapshot. I think we're right around that 5 minutes. But now we're going to move into the monthly
Snapshot.
monthly market report. So why do we do the monthly market report versus the snapshot? So the monthly market report is based on sold data. We always give this example. She's going to get bored, but we got to talk about this.
I was like, can I?
Nope.
Ding,
So
ding, ding,
the reason it's important, the reason it's important is if a property sold at any point during the month of November, which is what these statistics are for, we have the November summary. Anything that's sold in the month of November, from November 1st to November 30th, is going to be on this report. Any property in that report went, typically with a 30-day closing cycle, went under contract in September 1st to September 30th, okay? So that's all the way back to September 1st. We are now at December 6th. So that alone is October, not
Yeah,
September.
I was going to correct you,
October.
but then I thought I would sound stupid for getting it wrong again.
Okay, October. So we're at 60 days already. Then we took about 6 days to go through here and try to figure out and get the numbers built up. So we're at 66 days. So if you're making decisions based on 66 days ago, that's wrong decision making. But you want to see the trends to kind of expect what's happening with the
But
market.
when I say that like now is everything, you tell me I can't base it on the things now. You tell me I have to look at the trends and how it's been like now.
Because you have to.
Isn't everything.
Okay, so we're not talking about real estate. We're talking about life.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm in holiday mode.
If she's mad at me about something, then I have done that my whole life. It could be the first time I ever did it, but it's like you were always like this in your whole life. That's what she's talking about. So
I think everybody knows that that's what
But
I'm talking
the
about
other
because that's how everyone is
No.
all the time.
But the other beautiful thing is if she's joyous with me, if she's happy with something I did, then that's the way I've done it our whole life. So it goes both ways. So I'm thankful for it. All right. So what are the numbers we need to look out for the monthly market report? First one's going to be our new listings. So November of 2024, we had 668 new listings. November of 2023, we had 671. So it was down 3 listings. It's pretty flat.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So the numbers of sales, Kelly. All right, so the next statistic that we're going to talk about is the number of sales. So you can see that November of 2024, there were 867 sales versus November 2023, 771. So the number of sales were actually up by 12%. Now, why is that important? If you had a flat number of listings, but you had an increase in sales, then more of the inventory was getting bought. That moves us to a lower absorption rate. I'll show you what that means in just a second, which means it's a stronger seller's market.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we want to look at days on market. Now, days on market did take a little bit longer. We're seeing this. It increased by 1 day, November 24 versus 23. It's pretty flat. But we are seeing properties sit for a little bit longer. Months of inventory. So this is what's called the absorption rate. The absorption rate is, it's generally understood that a 5 to 6 month absorption rate is a neutral market. Anything above that, like a 7 month or above, is a buyer's market. Anything below is a seller's market. What the absorption rate is if no new properties came on the market and the rate of purchasing continued, how long would it take to run out of inventory? November of 2023, we were at 3 months. November 2024, we're at 2 months. So that flattening of the listings and the increase in the transactions brought us to a stronger seller's market.
Absolutely, everybody can see that.
All right. Median sales price was up 7% from 2023. 2023 was at 658,000. 2024 was at 705,000. So that those prices are still continuing to go up.
That's where I keep telling you, if you're not going to buy, just go spend your money uselessly somewhere else. Because otherwise, if you're going to buy, do it now, not next year. Otherwise, you're just spending, you're just throwing it down the toilet.
Yeah, you're giving away that 7%. So prices are not coming down. They're still going up, and that's what we're seeing in the market.
Yes.
All right. I talk about median sales price in a lot of detail in the previous market reports. Feel free to go and check those out. We'll probably cover it again next month, but just you need to understand what the median sales price is.
Not an average.
Not an average, that's correct. So what was the list price to sales price ratio? How much were people paying over the asking price? And we are seeing this in the market. We've experienced this with our listings. November of 2024 was right at 100%. Yeah. November of 2023 was just, let's see, this is November, right at 100%. So it's pretty flat. People are getting asking price. Some people are getting more. It's kind of like
a winter market. That's
yeah, it's typical. Yep. So that's
that doesn't mean those asking prices are not increasing as time goes on.
That's
They're
right.
Still higher asking prices than they were last year, but it's
exactly.
just the what they actually go under contract for.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, so if you're waiting for that market crash to come, these are the statistics of what happened since 1942 with regards to market activity. I'm not going to go into great detail on this, but I will just let you know that in this column right here, you can see that there has not been a single decade that prices have dropped. You can see over here in the 81 years that were marked on here, that was going through 2023, that in 73 years prices went up, only 7 years prices went down, 1 year they were flat. 5 of these 7 years were in the market crash of 2008. Don't wait for the crash.
And that was the real estate.
Yeah, that
whole
was the real
industry
estate.
That was, and they fixed all that.
Real estate actually caused that. So don't wait for the market crash because it is not going to go well for you.
That's right.
All right. Of course, we don't have a crystal ball, but that's what history says. All right. So what does it look like? It looks like the market is still strong. It is certainly slower, but we expect the market activity in general to pick up in 2025. We'll see if it's still as strong of a seller's market or if it moves more towards a neutral market.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Y'all have any questions? Please feel free to let us know.
Everybody, it is time for our Mortgage Minute with our good friend and lender at Prosperity Home Mortgage, Tatiana, I believe, Lopez. How are you?
Hey, Tatiana.
I'm doing well.
All right.
Guys.
Good. We missed you last week with the holidays, so we're excited to see what's happened over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. How was the holidays? A lot of turkey?
A lot of turkey. And keep in mind, we had my mom all with us at his mother's house. And this is the funniest thing. His mom was backing her car down the driveway and backed her car into his Mercedes.
Oh no.
So we're driving around with some bright yellow tape on the bumper, keep it together until I get it fixed on Monday.
Very stylish. But we keep saying, you know what? We are very thankful that it was a car and not a pet or a human.
That's right.
Yeah, here you go.
How was yours?
It was good. A lot of turkey too, and didn't do too much, which was the goal.
Which means that you spend every day out doing something really cool because she always.
You always do cool things.
Yep.
Yeah, this time I was just relaxing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a naughty hat or a nice hat?
It's a very small, nice hat.
We'll take it.
Teeny tiny. The rates they went down slightly to the lowest level in the past months, I guess.
Okay.
That's a good thing. 6.94% for conventional, Jumbo is at 6.78, just a little bit better. FHA 6.54. So just as a reminder, right here it says that those are average rates, and for scenario with 780 credit score and at least 40% down payment on
Yeah.
conventional financing. FHA, it's 3.5% down. You're gonna have about the same interest rate, but it of course is gonna vary depending on the credit score.
Yeah.
So I did quote someone at 6.375
wow.
recently, 6.125 for someone else. It all
Oh,
depends on
wow.
the
Was that
situation, on the
FHA?
loan amount.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well, speaking of loan amounts, there was some news that just came out that the loan limits had increased. So what exactly does that mean, and how does that affect what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so they increase the rate, they change rates, they announce new limits every year at the end of the year, about this time of the year. So, with inflation rates, the limits, they increase the limits. And let's take a look. So we have um there are a couple of different tiers of loan limits. We have conforming loan limit and we have high balance conforming loan limit. And then after that, it's a jumbo. That's basically what it is. And on conforming loan limit, it went up from 766,550 to 806,500.
Okay.
Okay.
It means that someone can get a mortgage with as little as 3% down payment on 806 and 500 loan amount.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the high balance loan limit, it went up to 1.209750 this year. Basically, it means that you can buy 1.273.5 million house, putting only 5% down. So when you go
Wow.
to high balance
Yeah.
conforming limits on conventional loans, you need to put 5% down. And each limit, that's conforming and high balance, they have their little additional guidelines, some
Yeah.
differences like such as down payment, maybe minimum required credit score and such. But basically that's what it means. And this is
Yeah.
conventional. FHA actually also followed the suit, and their limit is as well up to 1.209750. So if you do an FHA loan, you put in only 3.5% down, you can basically get a house prices 1.253 and just pay 3.5% down payment and get the FHA loan.
That's great. That's not a tiny thing. I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
huge.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing with VA, but the VA, you can go higher than this. Is just
Yeah.
gonna have just like I said, some additional requirements, whether it's
Yeah.
conforming or high balance conforming. There's actually just mostly the interest rate adjustment when you go to high balance versus conforming. um there's gonna be adjustment in the interest rate goes up slightly.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
But
Okay, but
yeah.
it keeps somebody from having to find like secondary financing for the down payment, like to meet it. That's good, because that's what we did with ours, because the loan limits were lower, so we ended up getting a HELOC for a little bit, for the rest of it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Creativity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
good.
I just also want to remind you that these limits are for 1 unit properties. So we can do up to 4, and with each additional added units, the limits going up. And this is in our metropolitan area. It all depends on the area. You go farther out from DC area, the limits are actually lower because cost of
Okay.
living is lower. So you just need to Google loan limits by counties. Fannie Mae posts them on their websites as well, so you can check it out.
Okay.
Okay, so it's by county. It's that's the region that each limit is counted by.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
by counties actually.
Okay.
So, but you know, around our area, DC, Fairfax County, Prince William, Loudoun, Fauquier, I believe too. You just need to check it out, like Montgomery County for Maryland, um, everything that is
Mhm.
around DC, those are the limits. But
Okay.
farther out, they're gonna go down.
Okay. Very good. I didn't realize that they went up per unit. I knew you could get a 4 unit up to 4 units. I didn't realize that you got more on the limit based on units. That's really good to know.
Yeah, is it it increases by the same increment for
No,
each unit?
it's different. I don't have that information
Okay.
right now in front of me, but I don't know how they calculate it. Honestly,
be-
you know, it's I
Yeah.
think, you know, they look at median income and all that the good stuff. So,
Okay.
but yeah, definitely because it's more units, it's more expensive,
Right.
and that, you know, increases quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
you're
It
welcome.
was a great welcome back. We got a little bit
Yeah.
of good news, and then we got some bigger good
Some
news.
good information.
Some good,
That's
some
really good.
good news. Yeah.
So buyers, get out there. You can now
Yes.
get more house with a lower down payment than you pay.
And it's an opportunity for buyers right now. Sorry, we're beating our head against the wall with this, but anyway. Well, thank you. How does anybody get in touch with you if they want to find you?
Give me a call, 571-245-3000.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. So any big plans this weekend?
Well, we're settling on Monday, so we're kind of like buying things, and we're gonna go and
Yeah.
we need 2 king beds. So
Oh,
we're buying beds and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I like that part. That's one of my favorite parts is the decorating of things. But
Yeah, it's a little bit stressful for me because I have to work.
yeah. Yeah.
And I saw the house once, so I look at pictures
Yeah.
on Redfin, and I kind of like trying to figure out, because you know we did the home inspection and my husband went
Yeah.
and I told him take pictures because I don't remember, they kept some stuff in there but not everything, so
Right.
whatever's on the pictures, not everything that in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what we need, what not.
Oh.
Take pictures.
Yeah. I know. And because you can't unplug from work completely, you can't like just dive in and focus.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
I just realized, did we even record?
We better have. It was saying it was recording.
Did you turn? Did you? Oh yeah, it is recording.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I started it. You
Oh my
scared me.
gosh! Because typically there's like red dot, and I didn't
Yeah.
see it. So, but it's showing that it's still recording. Yeah.
It might have something to do with it being on our phone because that's a little bit different. But
No,
We
no,
got
it
with
is
our-
recording. It's recording. Yeah.
okay.
We got with our office manager because we were having Wi-Fi issues, and he said that they're getting a new company or something,
yeah,
or a new
it's
server
their-
or what he said. So another couple weeks. So that's another reason we thought, okay, well, let's use our phones with the hotspot for now,
Mhm.
and then hopefully get all that situated and worked out. But we're gonna try to up our YouTube game in 2025. So that should be.
Oh, nice.
Got a couple weeks to get ready.
We'll see. I don't know.
You know, I just got a thought because you are a really good decorator, so I will need your opinion on things.
I have a
See-
lot of them. I'm happy to. That was
Please engage her so she like leaves our house alone. No, I'm just kidding.
Your
No,
house is beautiful.
She really does love it. Like when she's getting to do that kind of stuff, she gets really her energy starts flowing. I love seeing her. in
Yeah,
this.
I'm happy. You run anything you want by me, and yeah, that would be great. Have a good weekend. Let us know if you need anything.
Okay.
Okay,
bye.
Bye, guys.
So I like where that's located, so let's
Yeah.
leave it there, if that's okay.
Oh, because we have more to do.
We have Patricia coming in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. I was